How's it going, everybody? My name is Rinzler here, back again for another video, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my shoot series. Just before I get involved into the topic of this video, the definition of the word shoot in this context means to tell the absolute truth about something, and I'm not actually shooting anybody. That's kind of become the intro, me having to tell the definition, because I don't want people to think that when I say Rinzler shoots on something, I don't want them to think I'm shooting something, so like with a gun. So that's just to clarify. I'm telling the absolute truth about something. I'm not shooting nothing. All right, now to get into the topic of the day, which is tomboys. Now, I've been asked a lot of times over the years why I always seem to pursue tomboys exclusively. And I've been asked about my experiences pursuing tomboys. So I'm going to be talking about that in this here video. So I don't really remember exactly when I started to like tomboys. I think that I started to like them when I was in middle school, because I was always pursuing girlier girls during middle school. So I know that I didn't really start pursuing tomboys until like eighth or ninth grade. Um, and I don't know. It's I watched this movie called Some Kind of Wonderful, which was made in the '80s. It's this really nice teen romance movie, and one of the characters in the movie, the female love interest, is Mary Stuart Matherson's Watts. Her character's name is Watts. She's full tomboy. She plays the drums. She dresses up like a dude. She doesn't put a lot of work into her appearance. She just looks comfortable with who she is. And by the end of the movie, she gets together with the guy she likes. And I like that because in so many movies you see like the quote unquote nerdier or tomboy girls who are, supposedly ugly, and then they get a makeover or whatever. They come downstairs, the guy's like head over heels for them now, and I hate it when that happens because it's such bullshit. Most of the time they look better before their stupid makeover. So, so anyway, I always found, the girl to look better before the makeover for the most part. Uh, so yeah, I always just liked how they looked before their makeover. And, Some Kind of Wonderful, I think, kind of tricked me a little bit. Because even though it's a really great movie, it gave me a bit of false hope about finding a straight tomboy. Because I don't like to stereotype. I'm not really into stereotyping things. But, online, everybody always asks, especially mothers of tomboys, they always seem to ask online whether or not their daughter is going to grow up to be a lesbian because she's a tomboy. And, I kept trying to tell myself that's just a stereotype, some kind of wonderful proof that there's straight tomboys out there, just waiting to be pursued. So I kept my hopes high, and I just, just to be a little bit blunt, I'm not meaning this in a creepy way or anything like that, but I just find tomboys to be really alluring because they're obviously really comfortable with who they are. Like, they don't put a lot of effort into makeup and dresses and heels, especially heels. I have a love-hate relationship with heels, if I'm being honest. Like, not that I wear it or anything like that, because that'd be weird for me. Um, but I just have a love-hate relationship with the idea of them in general, because on one hand, they do their job, they make women look hot, I'm not gonna lie. But on the other hand, I don't want women to be in pain. Why would I want a woman to be in pain? I've read stories about women who like are permanently in heels because they wore them too often, and that just makes me pissed off. I'm thinking, why would they do that to themselves? So, that's another thing I liked about tomboys is that they didn't torture themselves just to look good. They were comfortable with who they were, and that's what I really liked about them. And there were plenty of tomboys at my school too, so I felt like even though I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself, I knew that I possibly had a shot if I, did a good job with pursuing them or whatever. My first girlfriend in high school was a tomboy. Uh, she was also trans, but I didn't learn that until much later. She tried to tell me when we were freshmen, but I guess I didn't hear it right or something like that, or I totally missed it. Either way, I didn't learn until later that she was trans. But my first girlfriend in high school was a tomboy. And then during my sophomore year, I pursued a hell of a lot more tomboys. And during my sophomore year in particular, almost every tomboy girl that I pursued turned out to be a lesbian, and it hurt, man. Like they don't prepare you for how much it hurts to be rejected by a girl because she doesn't pursue guys. Like if you're rejected by a girl who's straight and just sees you as a friend, then you can still be her friend and secretly hope that maybe she'll change her mind later. But if she's a lesbian, like that's done. That's the bullet in your head right there. You can't go any further than that because nothing's ever going to change there. She likes girls and that's the end of it. So it always hurts the most when you find out the girl that you're pursuing just doesn't like guys, so you know that you never got a shot. And that always sucked. Most of the attraction I felt for girls during high school was admittedly like flash in the pan, like all of a sudden lustful kind of nature. It wasn't like slow build up or anything like that. I just saw a tomboy and I'm like, man, I really like her. I would love to kiss her and I'd love to, be there for her and stuff like that. And, you know, I guess I kind of gave off what you'd call creepy aura when I was in high school. A lot of girls thought I was creepy, especially tomboys actually, because I think it was commonly known that I liked tomboy girls. So tomboys immediately knew that if I was talking to them, I probably wanted to pursue them because they treated me like shit a lot of the time. Like, sometimes they would be mean to me to my face, and sometimes they'd wait till I was gone and then tell their friends about it. And then those friends who were also friends with me would tell me about it. Um, you know, I always hate that. Like when you're pursuing a girl and she doesn't tell you that you're being creepy. She just, she'll play along with it and make you think that you're doing a good job. And then as soon as you're away, you find out that you didn't do a good job, that you actually did a really piss poor job. That always sucked. And I'm not trying to sound bitter. I'm sorry. I'm not having the best of days personally. Uh, I felt like talking about this today, and I'm sorry if I'm coming off as angry or frustrated. I'm not having the best of days. Um, anyway, not the point of the video. So yeah, I pursued a lot of tomboys during my sophomore year. I think I pursued five or six, and yeah, all of them were flash in the pan. Like first saw them, started sitting next to them in class, tried to start talking to them, and they must have thought that I was just trying to get into their pants or something. And honestly, until I was in my senior year, I had no interest in having sex with anybody. Like that didn't even come to mind. One of my girls, one of my girls, it makes me sound like a pimp. One of my girlfriends, one of my exes, I should say, she was ready to have sex with me in my junior year, and I told her no because I wasn't ready for it. So that should go to show you that I was not interested in having sex with any of these girls. I just felt some kind of attraction for them, flash in the pan attraction for them. I was really lonely and depressed, and I just really wanted somebody to love me the way that I liked them. I just was really lonely, and I've always liked tomboys, and I know this is kind of insulting, but part of me always kind of thought that nobody else was going to pursue them. So that would mean that I should pursue them. And I know that makes me sound like an asshole, and I feel like I'm being an asshole just saying that. There's no way I can paint that picture without me seeming like a jerk. So I gotta say I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a jerk right now. But yeah, I pursued a lot of girls that I thought nobody else was gonna pursue. But that doesn't mean I didn't like them, because I really did like them. Um, you know, I really like tomboys because they're particularly alluring to me. Not only because they look comfortable with themselves, but because since they don't show off a lot of their body, it just makes you wonder more about what they do look like. What they would look like in girlier clothes. You know, so that's why they were so alluring to me. And I wasn't interested in having sex until my senior year. And by that point, I was kind of like a lovesick puppy because I just got over a relationship that was really strong and really sweet. My This relationship I had with this girl last summer through the first half of my senior year was the best relationship of my life. I was planning on proposing to that girl after a while. I was going to get her a promise ring for Christmas. She wasn't really a tomboy. She was sort of a mix in between girly and tomboy. She acted like a tomboy and she wore baggy clothes or whatever, but she also wore girlier things like tights and she occasionally wore heels and stuff like that. She painted her nails. So she was kind of girly, but kind of not. She was about in between. And man, when we broke up, it broke my heart. And during my senior year, I pursued a lot of girls after that. And not all of them were tomboys, I don't believe. Most of them were tomboys. I think I pursued one girl that wasn't really a tomboy. She was more of a girly girl. I accidentally ended up creeping her out because basically what happened is we had mythology class together. Actually, it was mythology class that introduced me to Hellenism, the religion that I'm now a part of. Because I lost my faith in Christianity, and then mythology stepped in, and I learned about Hellenism, and I decided that's what I wanted to believe in. So anyway, in that class, there was this girl that I really liked, or that I was starting to kind of notice, I should say. And I was writing in my journal at that point because I was still a real life superhero during this time. If you want to hear more about my journal and my time as a real life superhero, watch my other shoot video where I talk about it. But during that time period, I was writing down everything that was going on around me, especially if I was bored and didn't have nothing to do. So there was this girl in the room, and she sat diagonally from me. And she was not really a tomboy. She kind of had tomboyish attitude toward her, but she also was very much a girly girl. You know, she wore dresses and heels and makeup and all that bullshit. Uh, anyway, so I was writing in my journal, and I kept feeling her look at me. So I kept looking at her, and she would look away as soon as she saw me look back at her. And she did that to me, no joke, almost 30 fucking times. I'm not even joking. I kept a tally because she kept doing it so often. So I actually wrote down in my journal, and then I started making tally marks on the desk every single time I caught her doing that. And I swear she did it almost 30 times in a row throughout the course of that class. So, understandably, I was starting to wonder if maybe she liked me. I later learned that she didn't like me that way. She was just wary of me because she knew that I wore a mask a lot and she thought maybe I was some kind of criminal. So she was actually scared of me. She wasn't attracted to me. I learned that the hard way when I was trying to pursue her. It didn't end well at all. One day I came into class and I did not sleep the night before. I don't remember why. I think I was busy with something. So I came into school, no sleep. I hadn't slept much the day before that either, so I was wicked tired. And, I didn't really have complete awareness of where I was. I was like only half conscious, half awake. And because of that, I found myself staring at her longer than I should have, probably for a full minute. And I definitely regret it looking back now that I did that. And she ended up being really creeped out by me. I sent her a snap, but she didn't accept it. She didn't want to be my friend on Snapchat. Um, Man, just talking about it's making me feel bad. Uh, I really wish things had gone differently. I really regret what I did. I really wished I'd had better control of myself that day. I wished that I hadn't stared at her. Maybe things could have gotten better because me and her were starting to talk by that point, and I felt like maybe we could have at least been friends, but by after that, we couldn't even be friends. I tried to apologize, and she said it was fine, but it was obvious that she'd had enough of me, and that really sucked. And and this was post breakup. This was my lovesick puppy time period where I was, wearing heavy layers and wearing a mask and keeping myself kind of isolated and hidden from everything because I was just really hurt. I was hurting a lot, and I just felt like I needed somebody there for me. Uh, you know, and that was my own fault. I should have, been more of an adult about things and taken my time. I don't know why I kept pursuing girls. It was a stupid idea of me to do that anyway. I did pursue some tomboys during my senior year, but it was mostly in my freshman and sophomore years that I was pursuing the tomboys the most. Because again, I found them to be really alluring and badass and tough. And I like girls that challenge me a little bit. I don't want to date a girl that's really submissive and just does everything a guy tells her to do, doesn't have any confidence in herself. That's just not my thing. There's a girl I talked to in New Jersey and who I met on Wattpad, the fan fiction writing website. And she has a little bit of problems with self confidence. She really likes me, I think, but I told her I don't like her back because I don't like girls that don't have self confidence. I felt really bad telling her that because she's a really nice girl, and I really wanted to like her as much as she liked me. But I just can't. I can't help what I feel and don't feel. You know what I mean? Um, I'm sorry. This video is getting a little awkward, isn't it? So yeah. Pursuing tomboys. There was all. I always got worried pursuing tomboys because I was so worried that they were gonna turn out to be a lesbian. And there was a couple of girls I pursued that actually ended up really liking my best friend and just friend zoning me. And that sucked. It really, because like they always pursued adrenaline. If you guys have seen my superhero patrol video, then you know about adrenaline. I considered him a brother, and almost every single girl I hit on always hit on adrenaline and left me in the dust. And that really sucked. Adrenaline was always apologizing to me because he didn't want them to pursue him. He was very clear with them that he would rather they pursued me. And that just sucked. But in hindsight, I'm happy I didn't really have any relationships during my senior year after that breakup because I was not really mentally stable. I don't think I was ready for a relationship like that. I was still hurting after the breakup from the girl I wanted to get married to. So and I tried to get back together with that girl a couple of times, but she said that she's doing better without me, and I have no choice but to respect that, even if it hurts to hear. Um, you know, I really did like that girl a lot. I really wanted to be with her forever, but yeah, it just didn't work out for reasons I don't really want to talk about. Um, so nowadays, I'm not really pursuing anybody anymore because I kept getting into incidents with girls I was pursuing. Um, basically, I told one of these girls that I was attracted to her, and she took it in a creepy way or whatever, and started telling me like, "This is harassment" or whatever. And I guess rumors started going around school that I was a creep, even though I was trying my best to be nice and respectful and patient. I can't help what people think of me, but nowadays I don't really care if they think I'm a creep because I'm not pursuing anybody anymore. I've lost interest in pursuing girls at this point in my life because I've just been hurt so many times from misunderstandings to, turning out to be a lesbian to liking my best friend and not me, and that big breakup from last year that I was talking about. I've just been hurt so many times that I don't want to pursue anybody anymore. Uh, you know, After I graduated from high school, I was still pursuing girls a little bit, but I was trying to be a bit more open minded. I was trying to pursue girly girls instead of tomboys because I was thinking to myself that maybe the fact that I was pursuing tomboys was what was working against me because it doesn't matter if I'm trying to be a nice guy. Tomboys are probably going to assume that if a guy's flirting with them, all they want from them is sex. And, if a guy's pursuing a girly girl, they could probably think the same thing, but there would be less of a chance of it, I think. So I kind of regret only pursuing tomboys. I wish I pursued both of them instead of just tomboys. Now in hindsight, knowing that none of the tomboys I pursued ever ended up working out, I wish I didn't pursue any of them. But I wish I pursued more girly girls. So after I graduated from high school, I pursued girly girls exclusively. That didn't really end up working out for me either. I got friend zoned a couple times over the last few months. So a couple weeks ago, I was like, "Man, I'm done pursuing girls. I'm really done." And I kind of broke my own rule earlier on today, and I pursued a girl, which I shouldn't have done. And she told me she totally blew me off today. That's what happened today. That's why I'm upset. And it broke my heart. It breaks my heart every time. I try to be really strong for you guys, but a real man should admit when he's hurting, and I'm hurting right now. I've hurt before. Pursuing a tomboy, I really wanted to date tomboys, and it just never really worked out. There was never a right time. There was never a right girl. And I probably should have pursued girly girls if I really wanted to get a girlfriend, because I might have had a better shot at just pursuing girly girls, because they might have thought that I actually liked them for who they are. And I liked the tomboys for who they were. That's what I liked about them the most, is that they were being who they were. But they assumed that I wanted more from them than that, which is not true at all. Um, so and there's always going to be somebody in the comment who says, you're a stupid son bitch, or you're a liar. You just wanted them for sex, and there's always going to be that guy who thinks I'm lying about all my stories, all my shoots. They're going to think that I'm over exaggerating or I'm lying. This is just for the record. All the stories that I'm telling you are from my point of view. So I might be missing some pieces of the puzzle. Maybe the tomboys didn't think that I was just trying to pursue them for sex. Maybe they just didn't like me for a different reason. Who knows? I'm not them. So, yeah. I actually did pursue one girly girl during my junior year. I was in human relations class, and the teacher in the human relations class is like one of the best teachers. I wasn't a personal fan of the class itself. No offense. I love the teacher. She was great. I just didn't like the subject. I didn't like hearing other people's depressing stories every day. It made me feel really awful. And I know that makes me really selfish. But anyway, there was this girl in the class that I really liked. She was full on girly girl. Uh, and she was really hot. I'm not gonna lie. She was crazy hot. Um, and she sat next to me. And no matter where I sat, she found a way to sit next to me. And I took that as a sign maybe she reciprocated. Unfortunately, it turned out that I was wrong. And it I don't know if she did it on purpose. I don't think she did it on purpose. But the day after she rejects me, she comes in wearing like wearing the shortest skirt I've ever seen a girl wear on school property. I almost, part like I had this nagging voice inside my head telling me she was doing it just to tease me. I know that's probably not true. It's probably just a coincidence. But I couldn't help but kind of laugh at that in hindsight, because it was a long time ago. I haven't seen that girl because she was a year older than me, so she graduated a long time ago. Uh, you know, so anyway, that was the only time I didn't pursue a tomboy during my time at school, and it didn't work out. So maybe it is just me. Maybe it wasn't the kind of girl I was pursuing. Maybe it's just my attitude. It doesn't resonate well with everybody. Uh, you know, it I'm one of those people that girls probably don't want to pursue, because I tell things like it is. I don't hold back, and I try to be as nice as possible. But nowadays, in a world where a lot of people are assholes to everybody, trying to be nice to people is considered off. So I can't help it if people think I'm weird or whatever. I'm just trying to be myself, especially nowadays when I'm starting to care less and less what people think of me. I'm just trying to be who I want to be, and that's myself. Nobody else but myself. Um, and who knows, maybe I'll change my mind about being single forever one day. Because right now, my attitude is I want to be single forever. I don't want to pursue nobody. I want to be alone, because being alone is better than having my heart broken all the time. That's my attitude right now. I don't feel like I have any more room in my heart for any new love, for any new loved ones in my life. I don't feel like I have enough durability to have my heart broken again. So right now I don't want to pursue nobody, tomboy or girly girl. I like tomboys especially. I'll always like tomboys. You put a tomboy in front of me, I'll start blushing like a motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a stupid son bitch, and I always blush when tomboys are around. Uh, you know, it doesn't matter if they're girly or tomboy. I'm probably gonna still be attracted to them, but I'm gonna fight against those feelings, because I really don't think I can handle another relationship in my life, uh, girly girl or tomboy. But I always will like tomboys. So this is a message for any female viewers I have. Just be yourself. Uh, Most guys don't give a shit what you're wearing. I don't give a shit what you're wearing, as long as you're a nice person. I don't care if you're the hottest woman on the planet. If you're a bitch, then I don't want anything to do with you. That's my attitude. If I only talk to nice people. If you're mean to me, I don't want nothing to do with you. So yeah, that's my attitude on things. I like tomboys because they're obviously confident and secure about who they are. They don't feel like they need to change for other people. And I don't like to change for other people too. So that's why I like tomboys so much, is because I can understand them, I can relate to them, and they're really strong and confident, and they're not submissive. They challenge things, and they challenge the norm, and that's what I like about them so much. And that's never going to change, no matter how angry, upset, or heartbroken I get. That's always going to be how I see tomboys. That's never going to change. So yeah, that's my reason why I like tomboys. That's it. Yeah. There was this tomboy in my algebra 2 class. I believe it was algebra. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. It was my algebra 1 class. That's what it was. I didn't wait. Okay, so this was my sophomore year, I believe, and I took pre-algebra in my freshman year. So yeah, yeah, this would have been algebra 1. So there was this tomboy in my algebra 1 class who I kind of didn't notice until the end of the year. Uh, and she was as bad as tomboy as you can get. That girl actually ended up being in my mythology class as well. That was the first time I'd seen her since my sophomore year, because I had mythology in my senior year. So it'd been 2 years since I saw the girl. I didn't talk to her at all during mythology, but during algebra 1, I started to notice her, and she had long, kind of unbrushed hair. It was brown, but it had some teal in it as well because she dyed it, I guess. And she wore like really baggy hoodies and sweatpants, and she was really in her own world. I never saw her talking to nobody. And I was getting really sick of the table I was already sitting at, because there was this girly girl at the table who was always like snapping at everybody, and you know, asking for help on shit anyway. It's like I didn't want to help her with her math. She was mean to everybody. So I decided to move over to the tomboy girl's table, and I tried my best to be friends with her. I made small talk with her. We helped each other with our work, and I thought things were going really well. I don't recall ever directly flirting with her, but I guess she must have suspected that's what I was doing, because next thing I know, she like stops talking to me, and she makes me feel less and less welcome at the table. And yeah, and I tried to say I'm sorry for whatever I did. And she's like, I don't accept that apology. And I have no idea what I did, because I know I didn't actively pursue that girl. So sometimes I don't think it was necessarily my fault. I think sometimes things just happen. Maybe that was just her way of saying she's not interested. And sometimes I didn't listen. Sometimes I kept pursuing girls even after they said they didn't like me, and that was my own fault. I should have just stopped. Um, but anyway, that's about as much as I want to talk about this today. Because just talking about this stuff is starting to make me feel a little bit sad. So, and I don't want to have a sad day no more. So that's gonna be it. I'm sorry that this shoot video wasn't funny or whatever, like my last couple shoot videos were. This one was a little bit more serious. And I'm sorry if you guys didn't like this video. I'm trying my best. I'm just trying to tell things like they are, even if people don't like them. So if you didn't like it, then I'm sorry, but this is just how the story is. I can't change it. I can't sugarcoat it. This is just how things are. So I'm not gonna say that things are better than they actually are just to please people. I'm gonna tell the story exactly how it is, because I'm confident in what I have to say, just like tomboys are confident in their appearance and their attitude. So yeah, I'm gonna take their example and put it to myself. So if you guys enjoyed this shoe video, on the other hand, remember to give it a thumbs up, share this video with all of your friends and family on all of your various social media platforms, ring that notification bell, and let me know in the comments down below what you did and did not like about this here episode, and I'll see all you dudes and chicks in the next video.